Right. Now, I am no defender of Trump, but I'm no defender of lousy, bent journalism either. And I'm sorry, that Panorama documentary was lousy, bent, dishonest journalism. We should all be ashamed of it.
Trump was a defender of the Proud Boys and white supremacists.
You're ignoring the facts, Kevin.
You were taking, right? You were taking a 12 to 15 second clip in a full programme, programme that was broadcast a year ago, and I'm not aware of any big public complaints about it.
No, because it played to our general
3.5 years
we all
previously,
think that Trump
and ignoring all the other evidence.
The reason that there were no complaints...
They should not...
The reason there were no complaints about that edit were because people didn't spot it. And the reason they didn't spot it was because we all, mostly, think that Trump did incite violence on Capitol Hill. So to see that edit simply confirmed our prejudice.
We're talking about an error of judgment. I mean,
Massive.
you call it a lie. And I would say they were doing it probably for dramatic effect, and they shouldn't have done it.
Yeah. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
Are you going ahead and suing the BBC?
Well, I guess I have to. You know, why not? Because they defrauded the public, and they've admitted it, and their top echelon.
Director General and the CEO
This is
resigned.
within one of our great allies. You know, this is supposedly our great ally, BBC. The government has a chunk of that one, I guess, but that's a pretty sad event. They actually changed my January 6th speech, which was a beautiful speech, which was a very calming speech, and they made it sound radical. And they actually changed it. What they did was rather incredible. They're showing me the results later on, the results of what they did, how they butchered it up. But it was very dishonest, and the head man quit, and a lot of the other people quit. Where are you from?
BBC.
Okay. Here's another beauty.
It's a good line. Impartial, free and fair.
Yeah, sure.
Well, that criticism of the BBC and John Sopel, who was talking to there, apparently was well-founded, because the so-called impartial and accurate public service broadcaster is nothing but.
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President...
Because tonight the BBC is facing serious questions over its credibility after the Daily Telegraph exposed a Panorama segment that heavily doctored a speech by the American president in 2021, hours before the infamous January the 6th Capitol riot. As you're about to hear, the corporation spliced together two quotes 1 hour apart to make it seem like he encouraged an insurrection.
Played the following clip.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell.
But Trump didn't, in fact, say this at all. The BBC spliced together two clips that took place 54 minutes apart. So let's go through it again.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you.
Now, see there, between Capitol and, that's a cut. Here's what Trump actually said.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
It's different. It wasn't until nearly an hour later that he then said the second part of the BBC's version.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we fight. We fight like hell.
I did one interview once, right? This is true. About 4 or 5 years ago. It was for a posh paper as well, one of the Sundays, posh UK paper. I thought, you know, they could be a bit, you know, snidey, but they're fair. You know, there's a certain level of journalistic integrity, you think. And sometimes, you know, it's about them as much as you. They want to make... But I thought that'd be fine, but profile piece. I had some DVD coming out or some telly programme, so I thought, yeah. So I went along to my office, and my PR person was there, and the photographer turned up, and we were waiting. As you know, I hate lateness. So eventually, my PR person called the journalist, and she went, "Oh no, I thought it was tomorrow." "No, it's today, the photographer's here and everything." She went, "Oh no. Oh, can we do it tomorrow?" We went, "No, it's busy tomorrow." And so he said, "Look, we've got to do a phoner. We'll have to do it on the phone now." She went, "Well, I can't do it now." "Oh, God. I'll call you later." So, I went, okay, so I went home, called her, and she went, "Oh, sorry about that." She went, "Oh, I wanted to meet you in person." I went, "Oh, yeah, sorry about that." She went, "Because my friend did an interview with you and he said it was really good." That was odd, wasn't it? Mainly social. So anyway, we did the interview. It was all right. And I said, "Oh, we could do a bit longer if you want, as it's not face-to-face." She went, "Oh, cheers." So the interview comes out in the paper. It starts off, "I went to Ricky's office. He leaned back in his chair." She pretended she was there. His body language said he did not want to do this. He was combative. What? So I don't know why was she lying? I didn't know whether it was she'd already written it and she'd sort of, wanted to do this sort of psychological piece, or she was scared that her boss would find out that she missed, that's got the wrong day. But she went on about it, just making up things about how I was sitting, what my office was like. And also, if you're going to make stuff up, and there's a chance that I might blow the whistle and go, "She wasn't even there, it's all made up," you think she'd be at least flattering in her stuff she'd made up. She wasn't. She was slagging off the office, saying my body language was funny. And then she went, "The photographer arrived." Gervais looked relieved. And then she said, "But he liked my interview so much, he insisted we did longer." Bigging herself up. So, there you go. So, yeah. So now, truth, the horse's mouth. Cheers. You can take a horse to beer, you can make him drink. So, yeah.
I said all along to you, and many of you laughed, I began to get shadow banned and strangulated because I said so, that the 2020 presidential election in the United States was rigged. I said all along that January 6th, which was in any case no more than a particularly rumbustious night on Sauchiehall Street in Glasgow, far from being an insurrection, it was an after-closing time brawl in Sauchiehall Street in Glasgow. I told you it was a state provocation. I told you it was a continuation of the Russiagate hoax, which destroyed Trump's first presidency and was the proximate reason for the rigging of the presidential election that put him out. I said all along to you that Joe Biden could not possibly have polled 82 million votes. Simply impossible. He campaigned from a basement. He was already semi-senile and perfectly visible for anyone who was paying attention. I told you that when I went to bed, Trump was winning. And when I woke up, Joe Biden had beaten him like a drum, had beaten him by a landslide.
I think the problem that the BBC has had is this happened a year ago. And an apology should have been made instantly. If a mistake has been made, you've got to apologise instantly. And then I don't think Tim Davie or the head of news would have had to resign, because they would have corrected the mistake immediately. It went unreported, unacknowledged, unapologised for. And I think that is where trust becomes an issue.
And the thing that worries me most about how this has all unfolded is the fact that when Donald Trump got involved and called the BBC corrupt, that we've had these 2 resignations overnight, and we've now had his press secretary claiming this as a victory for Trump. Now, the BBC belongs to Britain, and I think we should all be concerned whether it's foreign powers or indeed domestic powers, and we know that there are the likes of Farage and Reform who would love to see the BBC destroyed. That really worries me, because we cannot see the Trumpification of our politics and our media landscape. We've seen what that's done in America. So this is a moment for the BBC to reset and restore trust.
Panorama is a standing disgrace to journalism and to the British people. It has been used as the sewer over and over again to feed the bilge required to build the narrative that the British state wanted to build. It destroyed Jeremy Corbyn's chances of becoming the Prime Minister of Britain. That very show, the Panorama, which accused Corbyn and Labour under Corbyn as a cesspit of anti-Semitism, when nothing could have been further from the truth. But that was Corbyn. The British state was very keen to see the end of Corbyn, see the end of any possibility of a real Labour government. This time, it's much more serious. This time, Panorama has been caught splicing Donald Trump's speech on January 6th to falsely accuse him of directing the events of January 6th, when the truth was the complete opposite. When the truth was that Trump told everyone to go home peacefully. They twisted, as they had twisted so many things, from the miners' strike through Corbyn and now Trump. They twisted and spliced and edited and re-edited a speech that had Trump saying the precise opposite. That's much more serious because, well, Trump rules Britain. Trump is the president of NATO, the president of Western Europe, the president of the United Kingdom. And when the BBC was caught out falsifying the words of their own president for their own twisted, centrist narrative, they had to go.